welcome to Hazat Ganu. Today we're going to show you how to make kısır, which is a grain-based salad really popular in Turkish cuisine, and it's just full of bright flavors, lots of herbs, lots of acidity, some sour, some salty. It's just a really great salad for any occasion, whether it's a picnic, a potluck, or just a side dish to anything else you're making. We're going to show you what goes into it, and then we're going to actually break down the process of assembling it. It's a very simple dish, but there are a couple processes that we want to explain better so that you feel confident to make it at home. So let me show you what goes into it. So first we have this bulgur. So this is a really thinly cracked bulgur wheat product that cooks really instantly. If you can't find this in your grocery store, and maybe if you're cooking this in America or somewhere else in the world, you could substitute this with the couscous that we're used to in America because it cooks really quickly, similar texture, similar flavor. That could work. I would still try to find this if possible, but that's a good substitute. We have here tomato paste, which this is actually a blend of pepper paste and tomato paste that my mother-in-law makes. If you have that, use that. Or if you don't, just use the tomato paste that you buy at the grocery store. That works perfectly. We've got one small to medium yellow onion that we're going to dice up really finely. We've got a lemon that we're going to add more towards the end of the recipe to add brightness and acidity. We've got olive oil, which you can't do much in Turkish cuisine without really delicious olive oil. We have this pomegranate syrup, which is a really popular product in Turkey. It's a concentrate of the pomegranate juice, and it's really sour, it's really sweet, and it really makes kısır. And so you kind of need this. There isn't a great substitute for this. So if you can't find this, I recommend ordering it online. There's definitely companies that will send it to you wherever you are in the world. We've got salt and pepper, which is an obvious. We're going to season along the way and at the end of the dish to make sure it's where we want it. And we have cucumber tomato here, which actually we're not going to add these to the dish. We're going to use this when we present the kısır at the end of the dish. So this is mostly just presentation, but it's nice to have around. And then we can't do anything without this plate of herbs, these beautiful herbs that we have here. So we have 4 different herbs. We have parsley, and we're going to use all of these. These aren't just for display. So we have parsley, we have dill, we have green onion, and we have mint. And we're going to dice those up really finely and add them in. And it's just like, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know how much I love herbs. So it's just amazing and fresh and lovely salad that you can kind of make for any occasion, and people will be greatly impressed. So we really hope you feel confident enough to try this at home, and let's get started on making some kısır. First thing to do to make kısır is actually to cook the bulgur. So we took 1.5 cups of bulgur and 2.5 cups of hot water, and we need to mix them so that the bulgur can plump up and then cool, because we can't add the herbs and all the other ingredients while the bulgur is still warm. So let's go ahead and do that. And just give it a little stir so that everything is incorporated. And then set it aside and move on to the next step.
So for our next step, we're gonna cook our onions and paste. And you might find recipes that doesn't include this part, and they just add these things into the mixture. And our reason for cooking this is both onion and the paste have very strong flavors. And as much as we want those flavors in our final taste, we also don't want these things to dominate everything else. So that's why we cook them with a lot of olive oil, and then once we cook them, we're gonna let them cool.
Şu garip halinden bile şiveli nazlım, gönlüm hep seni arıyor, neredesin sen? Tatlı dilim, güler yüzlüm, ecelan gözlüm, gönlüm hep seni arıyor, neredesin sen? Neredesin sen? Tatlı dil.
This is gonna take a while.
Gönlüm hep seni arıyor, neredesin sen? Neredesin sen? Ben ağlarsam ağlayıp, gülersem gülen, bütün dertlerim ağlayıp, gönlümü bilen, sanki kalbimi bilerek yüzüme gülen, gönlüm hep seni arıyor, neredesin sen? Neredesin sen?
Okay, now we're at our final stage, and here's our bulgur, and we can tell that it sucked up all the water. It's all puffed up and it's cooled down. So now we can add our onion and paste mixture into this, and we'll just slowly mix these together and add the rest of the ingredients.
So they both have cooled off quite a bit. That's really important before you add any of the greens. So after he's mixed that together, we will go ahead and add our pomegranate syrup, then our lemon juice, olive oil, and then the herbs at the very end. So let's just wait a little bit and we'll see how that goes.
You don't want to be super harsh, and make a paste. You still want your bulgurs to, be separate from each other. And if you think it doesn't have a nice dark color, you can always during the process, you can always taste it and just add more paste or olive oil or whichever taste you want more in it. Yeah, I think we can
add the pomegranate. Okay, so now we're gonna add the pomegranate. I think we called for 5 tablespoons of this. We're just kind of guessing along the way, but that's actually what the normal recipes call for. So I'm just gonna guess here. So in all honesty, our last video was cut short because our video storage filled up and we lost that last bit of the footage and couldn't really go backwards after we had mixed everything together. So I think we left you off at where we were adding the pomegranate molasses, and after that we added lemon juice, we added salt, pepper, cumin, and then of course we added all the herbs and we mixed it together. So at that point you're kind of in smooth sailing and you just add everything together and it becomes this beautiful salad that you can see molds really well. Actually, if you serve it if you put it in a bowl and then flip it over, it's a beautiful presentation, and Salih did this, and it's kind of a traditional way of serving it.
Yeah, and just like Joe said, you just have to as you're mixing it, you just have to taste it and say, okay, I want a little bit more of this or I want less of this. So there's a lot of flexibility in this recipe, and because it's such a grain based salad, we serve it with a lot of tomatoes, cucumbers, and people love it with pickles. This is one of my favorite salads, especially for the summer.
Me too.
And my family cooks this a lot. The problem is that I love it so much that I cannot stop myself eating it. So I eat it plate after plate, and then as we've seen how much the bulgur sucks up all the water, and it keeps doing that after you eat it
so in your stomach.
So it actually is a very filling salad. So
it is.
Just don't be like me and watch out how many plates you consume.
Should we try it?
Yeah,
all
let's
right.
go for it.
Okay. Go straight for the top.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's really good.
It's bright. It makes you want to keep eating it because it's this tangy, sweet, herby, bright flavor that, we're in fall right now, but this is really at its peak in spring and summer. So highly recommend.
Yeah, with a cool drink,
Yeah, it's the best.
It's really good.
So hopefully we didn't leave you hanging with that last video clip being cut short, but that you feel equipped enough to make this at home. We really love kısır. We'd love to know if you're making it, and just tag us or let us know if you've ever made it or if you've ever had it before or if you want to make it. So enjoy.
Okay.
Afiyet olsun.
Neredesin sen? Sinende gizli yaramı kimse bilmiyor. Hiçbir tabip şu yarama merhem olmuyor. Boynu bükük bir garibim, yüzüm